But if some of you softies insist on sleeping on the bed, I reckon you can do worse than a Luffler Easy Rest.
Behind the warm smiles and wholesome laughter of Mayberry lay a secret that would remain hidden for decades. The Andy Griffith Show captured America's heart with its small-town charm and innocent humor, becoming one of television's most beloved series. But what millions of viewers witnessed during one particular episode wasn't supposed to happen. A blooper so subtle, so unexpected, that it slipped past editors and remained frozen in television history. This wasn't just any ordinary mistake. This was a moment that revealed something extraordinary about the cast, the era, and the magic of live television filming in the 1960s. The scene in question has sparked countless debates among die-hard fans who've watched the series repeatedly, frame by frame, searching for every detail. Some claim it was intentional. Others insist it proves the authenticity of the show's legendary camaraderie. The truth is far more fascinating than anyone imagined. Andy Griffith himself would later reflect on these moments with a mixture of pride and amusement, acknowledging that perfection wasn't always the goal. The show's commitment to genuine emotion sometimes meant keeping the cameras rolling even when things went off script. Today, at what would have been his 100th birthday, we're finally examining this unedited scene and uncovering what it truly reveals about one of television's greatest treasures. The truth will leave you seeing Mayberry in an entirely different light. Andy Samuel Griffith entered the world on June 1, 1926, in Mount Airy, North Carolina, a small town that would later inspire the fictional Mayberry. His childhood was marked by hardship and humble beginnings that shaped the authenticity he brought to every role. Born to Carl Lee Griffith and Geneva Nunn Griffith during the difficult years between the World Wars, Andy grew up in a working-class family that struggled through the Great Depression. His father worked various jobs, from carpentry to factory work, doing whatever it took to keep food on the table. Young Andy was an only child, raised in a modest white frame house that lacked electricity and running water during his early years. These experiences of small-town Southern life would become the foundation of his greatest work. Despite financial limitations, Andy discovered his gift for entertaining at an early age. He possessed a natural ability to make people laugh, transforming everyday observations into comedic gold. His talent for mimicry and storytelling made him popular among classmates and teachers alike. But life wasn't easy for the lanky, awkward boy who often felt like an outsider. He channeled his insecurities into performance, finding confidence on stage that eluded him in everyday life. Music became another passion, and Andy learned to play the trombone, later adding guitar to his repertoire. These skills would prove invaluable in his entertainment career. Education opened new doors for the ambitious young man. Andy attended the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, initially pursuing a degree in pre-divinity before switching to music. The university environment expanded his horizons beyond the narrow confines of small-town life. He graduated in 1949 with a Bachelor of Music degree, but teaching music wasn't his true calling. After a brief stint as a high school music teacher in Goldsboro, North Carolina, Andy realized his heart belonged to performance. He married his college sweetheart, Barbara Bray Edwards, in 1949, and together they began pursuing his entertainment dreams. The couple moved around North Carolina, with Andy taking various jobs while developing his comedy routines and monologues during evening performances. The turning point came when Andy crafted a comedic monologue called What It Was Football, a hillbilly character's bewildered description of a football game. Recorded in 1953, this routine became a surprise hit, selling over 1 million copies and establishing Andy as a genuine comedic talent. The success proved that his small-town observations and Southern charm had universal appeal. Suddenly, doors began opening in the entertainment industry. Television producers and theater directors took notice of this talented newcomer who could make audiences laugh while touching their hearts. Andy's authenticity set him apart in an industry often dominated by manufactured personas and artificial charm. Andy's breakthrough into mainstream entertainment came with the 1955 Broadway production of No Time for Sergeants, adapted from Mack Hyman's novel. His portrayal of Will Stockdale, a naive country boy drafted into the Air Force, earned critical acclaim and demonstrated his dramatic range beyond pure comedy. The role showcased his ability to create fully realized characters that audiences genuinely cared about. Night after night, Andy brought down the house with his perfect timing and authentic Southern charm. The success led to a television version in 1956 and a film adaptation in 1958, both starring Andy in the same role. Hollywood had discovered a star who embodied honesty and wholesomeness in an era hungry for those qualities. His film career gained momentum with A Face in the Crowd in 1957, directed by Elia Kazan. This darker role as Lonesome Rhodes, a drifter who becomes a dangerous media personality, revealed Andy's dramatic capabilities. Critics praised his nuanced performance, proving he wasn't limited to comedy. However, it was television that would make Andy Griffith a household name and American icon. The Andy Griffith Show premiered on October 3, 1960, introducing viewers to Sheriff Andy Taylor of Mayberry. The show was an immediate sensation, capturing something authentic about American small-town life that resonated with millions. The magic of Mayberry came from Andy's creative vision and collaborative spirit. He surrounded himself with talented actors including Don Knotts as Deputy Barney Fife, Ron Howard as Son Opie, and Frances Bavier as Aunt B. The chemistry between cast members felt genuine because it was genuine. Andy fostered an environment of mutual respect and creative freedom on set. He encouraged improvisation and natural interactions, believing that forced comedy never worked as well as organic moments. This approach created television gold week after week. Episodes tackled universal themes of friendship, family, justice, and community with warmth and wisdom that transcended the medium. The show's filming process was unique for its time. Unlike many sitcoms that relied heavily on rehearsed blocking and rigid scripts, Andy encouraged a more fluid approach. Scenes were often shot with minimal cuts, allowing actors to develop genuine rapport and react authentically to each other. This method occasionally resulted in unexpected moments, making it into final episodes. The cast would sometimes break character slightly, share knowing glances, or ad-lib lines that felt too perfect to cut. Andy's philosophy was simple. If it felt real and served the story, keep it. This commitment to authenticity over perfection created the show's timeless appeal. During its 8-season run, The Andy Griffith Show never dropped below 7th place in the Nielsen ratings. It finished its final season in 1968 as the #1 show in America, a rare achievement for a series choosing to end at its peak. Andy made the difficult decision to conclude the show while it was still beloved, refusing to let it become stale or repetitive. His personal life during these years included challenges alongside professional triumph. His marriage to Barbara ended in divorce in 1972. A painful experience that reminded him success came with personal costs. But his commitment to his craft never wavered, and Mayberry became more than a show. It became a cultural touchstone representing an idealized America that people desperately wanted to believe in. Behind the smiling facade of Sheriff Andy Taylor existed a man grappling with profound personal demons and professional pressures. The weight of carrying a hit television series took its toll in ways viewers never imagined. Andy battled intense perfectionism that often manifested as controlling behavior on set. While publicly praised for his collaborative spirit, there were moments of tension and frustration when scenes didn't meet his exacting standards. The pressure to maintain wholesome image while dealing with private turmoil created an exhausting double life. His divorce from Barbara in 1972 devastated him emotionally, shattering the family image he'd projected for years. The failure of his marriage felt like a personal betrayal of the values Mayberry represented. Career challenges emerged after the Andy Griffith Show ended. Andy struggled to escape Sheriff Andy Taylor's shadow, finding that audiences couldn't accept him in dramatically different roles. Several film projects failed to connect with viewers who wanted the comforting presence of the beloved sheriff. The new Andy Griffith Show, launched in 1971, was canceled after just one season despite his star power. This failure stung deeply, raising questions about whether his success had been lightning in a bottle rather than sustainable talent. Andy faced the terrifying possibility that his best work was behind him at age 45. The entertainment industry can be brutally unforgiving to those perceived as past their prime. Financial pressures mounted despite years of television success. Poor investment decisions and expensive divorce settlements depleted much of his earnings from The Andy Griffith Show. Andy discovered that fame didn't guarantee financial security, especially when trusting the wrong advisors. He took roles primarily for money rather than artistic merit, appearing in forgettable television movies and guest spots that damaged his reputation. The desperation was palpable to industry insiders who watched a legend reduced to accepting whatever work came his way. Pride prevented Andy from discussing these struggles publicly, maintaining the cheerful persona fans expected while privately wrestling with disappointment and regret. Health issues compounded his troubles during the 1980s. Andy underwent quadruple bypass surgery in 1985. A wake-up call about mortality and lifestyle choices. The recovery period forced him to confront how stress, perfectionism, and personal unhappiness had impacted his physical well-being. He'd pushed himself relentlessly for decades, never allowing vulnerability or weakness. Now his body demanded rest and reflection he'd long avoided. The surgery also raised questions about whether he could continue working at the same intensity. Insurance companies and producers worried about investing in a star with serious health concerns. His second marriage to Greek actress Salika Kasuto ended in divorce in 1981, another painful failure that reinforced feelings of personal inadequacy. Andy began drinking more heavily during this period, using alcohol to numb the disappointment and loneliness. Friends worried about his mental state as he withdrew from social circles and became increasingly bitter about the industry. The man who'd brought joy to millions seemed incapable of finding it himself. Tabloids occasionally caught glimpses of his struggles, publishing unflattering photos and speculation about his decline. The contrast between wholesome sheriff Andy Taylor and the troubled real Andy Griffith became impossible to ignore. The unedited blooper that fans discovered reveals something profound about the Andy Griffith Show's production philosophy and Andy's approach to his craft. In a Season 5 episode titled The Arrest of the Fun Girls, viewers can spot Don Knotts clearly breaking character and laughing during a scene with Andy. The camera catches Don trying desperately to suppress his laughter, while Andy continues delivering his lines with a slight smile. Rather than cutting and reshooting, the editors kept this moment, allowing genuine emotion to override technical perfection. This wasn't carelessness, but intentional choice reflecting Andy's belief that authentic moments created better television than manufactured perfection. Andy later admitted in interviews that he specifically requested editors preserve certain bloopers and genuine reactions. He believed these moments of real human connection made the show relatable and warm. The slight imperfections reminded viewers they were watching real people, not polished performers delivering lines mechanically. This philosophy extended throughout the series, with numerous subtle moments where actors nearly break character or respond too genuinely to situation comedy. Andy understood that the show's magic came from authentic relationships between cast members, and capturing that authenticity sometimes meant accepting technical imperfection. The specific blooper in question also reveals the deep friendship between Andy and Don Knotts. Their on-screen chemistry reflected genuine off-screen affection and mutual respect. Don's inability to keep a straight face during certain scenes came from Andy's subtle improvisations and delivery choices that caught him off guard. Rather than viewing these moments as unprofessional, Andy saw them as proof their partnership worked. The laughter was real, the friendship was real, and that reality translated to viewers who felt like honorary residents of Mayberry rather than passive observers. Andy's career experienced remarkable resurgence with Matlock, which premiered in 1986 and ran for 9 successful seasons. The role of attorney Ben Matlock proved he could create another iconic character while maintaining his essential dignity and charm. The show's success validated his talent and provided financial security in his later years. Andy married Cindy Knight in 1983, finally finding the personal happiness that had eluded him in previous relationships. Cindy provided stability and support as he navigated his career's third act. Together, they enjoyed a quieter life on their North Carolina farm, far from Hollywood's pressures and demands. In his final years, Andy reflected openly about his career, relationships, and the legacy of The Andy Griffith Show. He expressed pride that the show remained relevant across generations, introducing new audiences to Mayberry's values and warmth. The unedited bloopers that fans discovered and celebrated online brought him particular joy. He loved that people cared enough to watch so carefully and appreciate the genuine moments preserved in those episodes. Andy passed away on July 3, 2012, at age 86, leaving behind a body of work that continues inspiring and comforting millions. Andy Griffith's story reminds us that perfection isn't always the goal worth pursuing. The blooper that wasn't edited represents something larger than a technical oversight. It symbolizes a philosophy of embracing authenticity over artificial polish, of valuing genuine human connection over manufactured entertainment. Andy understood that audiences don't just want to be entertained. They want to feel something real, to connect with characters and performers who acknowledge their shared humanity. The slight imperfections made Mayberry perfect precisely because they made it believable and relatable. His journey from small-town poverty to television immortality demonstrates that talent combined with authenticity creates lasting impact. The struggles he faced remind us that external success doesn't guarantee internal peace, and that finding genuine happiness requires more than professional achievement. Andy's willingness to preserve those unscripted moments of laughter and connection gave us permission to embrace our own imperfections and find joy in unexpected places. What's your favorite Andy Griffith Show moment? Do you remember discovering any bloopers or unscripted moments that made you love the show even more? Share your memories in the comments below. We'd love to hear how Mayberry touched your life, and what lessons you've carried from those simple stories about a small town and its kind-hearted sheriff. Don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into television history and the untold stories behind your favorite classic shows. Next week, we're exploring another beloved series and the secrets hidden in plain sight. The truth about our entertainment icons is often far more interesting than the characters they played. Andy Griffith gave us Mayberry, but he also gave us something more valuable: permission to be imperfectly, authentically human. That's a legacy worth celebrating.